Imagine your brain as a house, a fragile, intricate house built in the dark. Every wall, every wire, every light switch shaped by the hands that raised you. Now imagine those hands weren't kind. They slammed doors, they screamed until the walls shook, they touched where they shouldn't. They left you starving, not just for food, but for safety. And the house adapted. It didn't break cleanly. It warped. It grew thorns on the inside. It learned to expect the next blow before it even came. This isn't metaphor. This is neuroscience. This is what abuse does to your brain. And once it's done, the house is never the same again. Welcome to the void. Today we're going deep, darker than most dare. Not just the bruises you can see, not just the nightmares that wake you at 3 a.m. We're talking about the invisible scars carved into gray matter, the amygdala that never sleeps, the hippocampus that shrinks like a dying flower, the prefrontal cortex that loses its grip on reality. Abuse, physical, emotional, sexual, neglect, doesn't just hurt your childhood. It reprograms the operating system of who you are. It turns survival into a prison you carry forever. If you've ever felt like your mind betrays you, like fear hits before logic, like memories flood in when you least expect, this video is for you. But fair warning, it gets darker before it gets anywhere close to light. Abuse begins with stress. Not normal stress, the kind that never turns off. Your brain has an alarm system called the HPA axis, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal glands. In a safe world, it whispers when danger comes, then quiets down. In an abusive home, it screams constantly. Cortisol, the stress hormone, floods your bloodstream like gasoline, over and over, for years. What happens when fire never stops? The wiring melts. Studies show that children exposed to prolonged abuse have dysregulated HPA axes that stay hyperactive into adulthood. Your body thinks every Tuesday meeting, every argument, every quiet room is a threat. You're not overreacting. Your brain was taught that safety is a lie. And the damage compounds. High cortisol literally poisons developing neurons. It accelerates aging at the cellular level. Some survivors show biological markers of someone 10 or 20 years older. Your brain didn't just survive the fire, it became the fire. Meet the amygdala, small, almond-shaped, deep in the limbic system. Its job? Detect threat, sound the alarm, flood you with fear so you run, fight, or freeze. In an abused brain, it grows stronger, more sensitive. It hypertrophies like a muscle that's been overworked. Normal people see a stranger's neutral face and think maybe they're tired. An abuse survivor's amygdala screams danger. Heart races, palms sweat. The world tilts into threat mode. This is why hypervigilance becomes your default setting, why a slammed cabinet feels like a gunshot, why intimacy feels like invasion. Brain imaging reveals heightened amygdala reactivity in people with histories of childhood maltreatment, even decades later. It doesn't calm down easily. Worse, the connections between the amygdala and the rational parts of your brain weaken. The prefrontal cortex, your brakes, can't reach the gas pedal fast enough. So you explode, or you shut down, or you dissociate, floating outside your own body while your mind screams silently. The amygdala doesn't forget. It collects every scream, every slap, every violation, and replays them on loop when you least expect it. You're not broken. You're haunted by a guardian that was forced to become a monster. The hippocampus is where memories live. It helps you form new ones, contextualize old ones, and, crucially, tell the difference between past and present. Abuse shrinks it, literally. Chronic cortisol is toxic to hippocampal neurons. MRI studies consistently show reduced volume in adults who suffered childhood abuse or neglect.
The more severe or prolonged the trauma, the smaller it gets. What does that mean in real life? You struggle to remember good things, but traumatic flashbacks hit with perfect, vivid clarity. You can't always tell if the danger is happening now or if it was 20 years ago. Learning new skills feels impossible. Concentration evaporates. Some survivors describe their memories as shattered glass, sharp pieces that cut when you try to pick them up. Others have huge blank spots, protective amnesia that leaves them feeling like a stranger in their own life. In severe cases, the hippocampus fails to properly tag traumatic events as past, so your brain treats every trigger like it's happening again, right now. You're trapped in an endless present where the abuse never ended. And the worst part? The hippocampus is supposed to help you heal by integrating trauma. When it's damaged, healing itself becomes harder.
Up front, behind your forehead, sits the prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain. It handles planning, impulse control, emotional regulation, decision-making, empathy. Abuse starves it. Under chronic stress, the prefrontal cortex thins, activity drops, its connections to the amygdala fray. Suddenly, you can't just calm down. Logic loses the argument every time. This is why survivors often battle explosive anger or emotional numbness, risky behaviors and addiction. The brain desperately seeks dopamine it can no longer regulate. Difficulty maintaining relationships. I push people away before they can hurt me. Imposter syndrome so deep it feels like fact. Different types of abuse target different areas with eerie precision. Verbal abuse can thicken auditory cortex regions in maladaptive ways. Sexual abuse has been linked to thinning in somatosensory areas related to touch. Witnessing violence can alter visual processing areas. Your brain doesn't just get damaged randomly. It sculpts itself to survive the specific hell it was given. The horror doesn't stop with you. Epigenetic changes from abuse can alter gene expression, how your DNA is read, without changing the code itself. These marks can pass to the next generation, priming their stress systems for hypersensitivity before they're even born. You become hyper-aware of your own parenting, terrified you'll repeat the cycle even when you're trying desperately not to. And into adulthood, higher rates of depression, anxiety, PTSD, borderline traits, substance use, chronic illness. The body keeps the score because the brain never forgot. Some days it feels like the abuse is still winning, like you're carrying a ghost that feeds on your neurons. Here's the darkest truth, and the only mercy. Your brain changed because it was trying to protect you. It succeeded. You're still here. And the same neuroplasticity that allowed the damage can allow repair. Not erasure, never full erasure, but rewiring. Therapy, especially trauma-focused like EMDR, somatic experiencing, mindfulness, safe relationships, medication when needed. These can strengthen prefrontal control, calm the amygdala, support hippocampal recovery. Exercise, sleep, even certain medications can help regulate cortisol. It won't feel fair. Healing is slow, non-linear, and sometimes feels like fighting your own mind. Some scars will remain. Triggers may linger, but the house can stop being a prison. It can become livable. You are not defined by what was done to you. You are the proof that even damaged brains can fight back. If this resonated, you're not alone in the dark. Drop a comment with one word that describes how your brain feels sometimes. We see you. Resources in the description. Hotlines, trauma-informed therapists, books like The Body Keeps the Score. This wasn't easy to watch. It wasn't easy to make, but knowledge is the first crack in the walls. Thanks for sitting in the dark with me. Take care of the house you're in. It's the only one you've got. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into the shadows we don't talk about. Until next time, stay haunted, but keep fighting.